best contract in the region. The very best. Starting next year in October, we will have the lowest rates for the next 10 years. So that is preposterous, but that 1 year is going to go up, the rest we're going to be lower than that. No raising of local taxes. Right here, I have a plan where I started lowering fees in the infill development. That's what helped by 50%. That's what helped us get to the prosperity that we have now. Sorry, I got lost with those things. So.
Good afternoon, Yuba Sutter. This is the Yuba Sutter Political Spotlight, and we are live out at Mount Hood for the next 2 hours? 2 hours and 55 minutes. I mean,
1 hour. 1 hour and 55 minutes.
Okay,
and you're listening to the Patriot at 1410 and 104.3 FM.
Well, that was our illustrious city councilman for a little while longer, another couple of weeks, that was saying it was preposterous.
That's preposterous.
It was preposterous.
That's preposterous.
What was awesome is he said it like 6 times, and the people in the crowd had their head in their hand, shaking their head, just...
That is preposterous.
Just stop.
Just stop, please.
Find a new word, Stan.
Hey, all I heard was the little faggot's got his own jet airplane. The little faggot is a millionaire.
Well, he must think he does. He's been to what? Washington, D.C. 6 times in 12 years. I mean, he must think he has his own jet airplane.
Have you paid your
I
recology
want
bill?
my MTV.
My recology bill? No, I have not. It's still in my pile of bills to pay this week.
Well, for the life of me, Stan Cleveland is about as transparent as mud. He does not know what the hell he is talking about. Because I'm fired up about this. That recology bill, I mean, they did their thing, but it cost the taxpayers and the residents that have recology a boatload of money. And do you think that cost, they've got to pass it on somewhere?
Of course.
So who's it coming to?
It's always going back to the people.
Coming
Thank
to
God
bill
that's
near
one
you,
bill my
sir.
wife pays.
I'll tell you what, between the water,
She doesn't pay the water bill, huh?
She pays the water bill at home, too.
between
Yes.
the water
Yes.
and
So
garbage, it's unaffordable.
I have to pay them at the shop, and she pays them at home. So I'm expecting to see an increase at the shop then, huh? On that garbage bill. My water bill is already through the roof.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Stan knows about that, I think, doesn't he?
But
I
you're going to
mentioned
get a
it to
bigger
him.
toter, aren't you?
You
Don't
just
you get a bigger
mentioned it
toter?
to him, right? That's what caused
Yeah.
him a meltdown.
And he had a meltdown.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have a meltdown every time I see the bill. And I tell you what, I don't like private enterprise advertised in my municipal water bill. You know what I mean?
Yeah, since when was that okay?
Yeah. So don't advertise in the water bill. That's I mean, I don't advertise my business in the water
I have
bill.
a sneaking suspicion that has Darren Gale's name all over it.
So
Let's put a flyer in the
just
water bill.
send the bill, and that's it. We don't want to read any of your junk mail.
I think if they got rid of a couple of those top-level managers in the city, same with the county too, but we're not on the county right now. But with the city, get rid of a couple of those top-level management people that are raking in the cash, and then pass the savings on to the residents.
I think we're going to talk about the county, though, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, hey.
We're loaded for bear today,
You got to
folks.
trim the fat, man. That's all there is to it.
It all started just blowing up Wednesday morning. And from
Okay.
then on, it's just been one thing after the next.
For me, Liz, every morning this week, I was up at 4:30 at the shop and up on the mountain, and I had no cell service all day long, which was nice. Me and 3 other pros worked and got it done, and it's beautiful.
Oh, I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, day after day after day. We produced every day, all day long, except
Kind
for
of
lunch.
like Donald J. Trump producing every day.
Yes,
No,
he does produce.
That was Stanley Cleveland, the second junior or the third, isn't it? That's what it said on the flyer I got.
Well, you know,
The good
between
economy was all his fault.
people obviously in the listening audience can't see what we see. I mean, we're all looking at each other, and I'm looking at a very special shirt that is bright yellow. Uh-huh.
You cannot miss it.
The Can Stand and Chuck Buck campaign, which we all have shirts, right? Mm-hmm. The thing about it is I was told, would you rather have stupid or arrogant? I said, neither. Neither.
There's a choice.
It is
There's a
time.
difference.
It's time for new leadership
That's right.
in Yuba City.
Somebody asked you whether you would rather have stupid or arrogant.
Yeah.
Yeah, as if that was the choice.
Yeah, well-
guess what? You've got 9 people running.
Stupid Stan and arrogant Buck is what he meant.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
Would you rather have stupid or arrogant?
Unbelievable. Well, just like Stacy Brookman said, if everything was all rosy at the city, you would not have 9 candidates for city
Yeah.
council.
No.
And in my opinion, we only have 3.
Yep.
3 excellent choices.
Yep.
Yep.
I won't argue with that.
Okay.
So
That's
we
a
know,
good thing,
we know
Thomas.
we know who those are: Dave Shaw, Mark Boomgarden, Stacy Brookman.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the 3 best choices for city
Yes.
council.
And I hope Stacy will toe the line too. So
Well, we're
I
keeping
don't
his
know
feet
him
to
that
the fire.
well, as well as I know Boomgarden and Dave Shaw. So we
Well,
need 3 guys in there to toe the line for the people. Yeah, I think we'll get that with them.
You know, the thing that I know about those 3 guys, regardless of whether we see eye to eye, I feel like every one of them I can approach, and I'm going to at least have what I have as a pet peeve heard, and be able to have a debate with them, rather than one getting mad and closing his eyes and rubbing his ears type crap, and the other one just saying you can't tell the truth and running off.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're all 3 approachable men, and
Yeah, but-
I've carried on a conversation with all 3 of them, and got respect for all 3 of them.
And I've not seen one of them get up on stage and hold his hand up and go, "It's preposterous."
Yes.
That's preposterous.
Yep.
Oh boy.
Let's have a
So-
little bit more of an intellectual debate and not
Yeah.
be told it's preposterous.
So speaking of debates, it appears that Buckland and Cleveland wanted to have their very own debate,
Yep.
sensitive just to those 2,
Well, of course they did.
without telling anybody else that was running. So, do you want the whole explanation?
That was a Facebook thing, right? I'm not on Facebook, so I'm not in the know.
I know.
Well, it blew up on Facebook. It wasn't just a Facebook thing. It was actually scheduled to be a real debate by the taxpayers. But then
The Sutter
John and
County
Stan made it
Taxpayers
their own kind of thing and blew it all up, and then it got basically taken
That's
down.
preposterous.
Okay, well, let's get the breakdown.
Okay. So the invitation went out from John Buckland, and I received an invitation from Joe Smith, and right away I saw
That guy's fake.
Hey.
and he can't tell the truth. Okay.
Can't do it.
I have to say that name sounds phony to me, Joe Smith.
You're killing me, Smalls.
So I get this invitation from Joe Smith, and it's a forum on Monday, October 22nd at the City of Yuba City Council Chambers. But it was an invitation from John Buckland. Now, I am a Sutter County taxpayer. I belong to Sutter County Taxpayers Association. I had no idea what that was about. So I called Patricia Miller, who is the president, and I said, "Hey, Pat, what's going on here with this?" And she said, "How do you know about it?" I said, "Well, it's all over social media." And she said, "That's it. It's canceled." He didn't follow the rules. John Buckland. He is,
What a surprise.
yep, dishonest on so many levels. So she pulled it, quit it. She just pulled the plug right then and there. And then he got back. He got on Facebook and social media, and he says, "I didn't mean anything by it. I thought I was doing okay." But the deal is Pat gave him specific instructions, and it wasn't just John Buckland. It was Results Radio, it was Bob Harland, it was John Buckland, and I think that the email went out to Stan. I have it here. I should have pulled it out. But at 10:46, her instructions went out, okay? about this is how we're going to do it. If we do it, this is the way it's going to be. They had originally said it will be at the Board of Realtors, okay, which is a total neutral spot. All of a sudden, it's at the Yuba City Council chambers. Now, how did that happen? Because I happen to know.
Magic.
Yep, magic.
Well, I kind of am partial to having specific instructions. You know, it's like Jason in the building trade. We have specific instructions. It's called a plan. Okay. Now, sometimes you have to vary from the plan, but usually you have the superintendent that says, "We're going to vary from the plan, and this is what I want you to do," and then you're supposed to do it. Well, therein lies the problem, right?
Yep. Yes.
So, specific instructions.
Superintendent
Yes.
wasn't informed.
No, the guys didn't carry it out like he said he wanted it done, usually.
But what's
Usually that leads to a firing. At
Well-
least at my job sites it does.
Well, can't
Pack your
tell
stuff.
the truth.
Yeah.
Pack your stuff.
Yeah.
There's the door. Don't let it hit you in the keister on the way out.
Usually it ends up with more time
Yeah.
on my job because, as you know, with the economy that we're in, it's hard to find people that want to work.
yes.
That's a fact.
We have more jobs than we have workers right now. Thank you, Donald
Yes,
J. Trump.
Yes.
Anyhow, so
I thought that was Stanley J. Cleveland, the second, third, fourth, junior.
no. So
He's
any-
just responsible for all the local economy, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
he's responsible, and the bridge.
Now, John's responsible for
John's-
the bridge.
John's
That was
got
his.
the bridge.
He did that.
You can tell John's responsible because he's out in front on every picture I ever see of the bridge.
Well, their little debacle ended badly.
So that's it. No more debates.
Nope, that's it. I
Yeah.
don't know if they're planning on doing anything privately, but the Sutter County Taxpayers Association was totally used, totally abused. Pat Miller sent
Much
out that
like the
email.
taxpayer.
Yeah.
Used and abused.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What I thought was interesting was then we flew it out on Facebook to the big debate, the big debacle. And Stan had posted earlier in the day that, you know, we'll get the truth and whatever he said. I forget what he said. You can go to our Facebook page and see it. But then he comes on there and says, we're a bunch of liars. Lies and more lies from the Yuba Sutter political spotlight. So I had to reply. I had to. And I said, so your post is a lie, Stan.
Joe
I mean,
Smith
that's
did
what
that.
that's what he's calling it.
Oh,
is
he
that-
said everything on there is a lie.
Yeah, and his post must have been a lie. And I mean, I'm just like, and then of course, then he had to woo-saw in a corner for a little while. Then he came back with another reply, and
That sounds
so
like
on and
a
on it went.
political trick.
Yes, liar, 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 liar. I have no defense. Liar, liar. I have nothing rebuttal. Liar, liar.
Wow.
Well, my problem really, Stanley Cleveland Jr. the Stirred, was not actually named. Okay, it was purely John Buckland. So
But we have the post from Stan talking about the big debate.
yeah,
Reposted on his Facebook page. We have it. We took a picture of it. Guys, I'm going to tell you again, like I told my kids whenever they were 8 and 5. If you don't want everybody to know it, don't post it on Facebook. Morons, come on. If you post it, it's there forever. Don't come up and say it's a lie. It's there. Somebody took it. Somebody captured it. It's there. You put it out. It's there. We're going to use it.
so the president of the Sutter County Taxpayers Association sent out a very clear plan, Thomas.
A plan.
A
I like
plan.
You would have liked it. It was a
Yeah,
plan.
yes.
You would have liked it, and I have it. I'll let you look at it.
All you have to
Okay.
do is follow the plan, and
Yep.
everything goes off
That would
that
be the
hitch.
supervisor.
But you can't start on the last page of the plan.
Well,
you think Stan, with being this big developer that he is, he would know this. You know, being in
Start with
construction.
the plot plan.
You would
Yes.
think that he would know this. Land acquiration, then the
Right.
then the pad, underground utilities, foundation. You start on a foundation,
Now,
then you move forward. Anyways,
you don't put the stucco on before you frame it, right?
that's
Because I've
well,
had
you can. That's
I've
freestanding
had
stucco.
contractors ask me to be there before they framed it.
well,
I'm one of those guys.
I can tell
Come
you, Stanley Cleveland Jr. the Stirred, he has built his house on sand. That guy. there is no foundation. And you know, the wise man built his house upon the rock,
That's right.
the foolish man on the sand.
Yes. You know, I believe that the greater majority of politicians have built their house on the sand, for sure. So that's why we're looking for, I'm rooting for guys that are not career politicians. That's a huge part of the problem is the career politician.
Oh.
Okay? From one, seat to another seat and back. I mean,
well, they get in there and they think they're important.
Yeah. And like Grace Espandola, she's looking for any seat in the county, right?
Got to start somewhere.
Yeah, so.
right? Anywhere.
Well, Pat Miller sent out a plan at 10:46 a.m. and not even 30 minutes later, John Buckland blasted it.
What it sounded like is she sent out the pre-construction meeting.
Yes.
This is how we're going. This is the plan. This is how we're going to follow it. So in a few days, we'll all talk about the actual plans. But for now, this is the pre-construction meeting. This is the plan before the plan. Absolutely nobody followed it.
Pat Miller did not get her plan checked.
It didn't go through plan check.
That's right. Did not go through plan check.
Well, I had Mr. Cleveland in my neighborhood because I saw his little truck with the teepee on it.
Is that the teepee where you pee-pee?
I
Did he get a permit for that teepee?
I do not know. I just know that it was there, and I thought, oh, man, because my wife and I were heading somewhere, and I thought, I'll bet he's going to come by my house, and I'm going to miss it. So when I got home, there was a door knocker on my door, but I have a fence that's got all kinds of endorsements on the fence, you know. We quit putting them in the yard because we have to pick them up, pull them out every time we mow. Right? So anyway, yes, it was there when I got back, and he was claiming responsibility for saving like $2.75 million for the unfunded liabilities. You know, I think it looked like a bunch of typical twisted type stuff.
Talking about that, talking about the unfunded liability, I want to play this snippet from John Buckland talking about how basically it's our responsibility. And just listen to this real quick. You're going to love this.
You want to pay off PERS? Folks, dig into your pocket, pull out $450 million to be able to move into.
Where is it our problem to dig out $450 million out of our pocket for something you did?
Yeah,
BS.
yeah, that's ridiculous.
You know what, John Buckland? That was a stupid statement, buddy. Stupid.
Wait, Stan's stupid. He's arrogant.
Well, whatever. That was a stupid statement. I don't care how you slice it. Why don't you dig into your pocket and dig out $450 million? Really? That's how you're going to talk to people that you want to vote for you? Are you kidding me right now? Dumbass.
Just shut up and get out your money.
It's quite amazing, and I'm sure it would. He's had his hand in it, and then others before him, right? That these guys, the bottom line is, they gave away the farm, right? Before, I can't even fathom that they didn't have any of the foresight for it. You know what I mean? In this national economy or the global economy, it seems to go in waves, right? We have a time of real increase, and then we have recessions, right? Mm-hmm. So these guys were not able to see or speculate or have an actuary to see that they were giving away the farm, a farm that they couldn't even begin to pay off.
That wasn't theirs to give away.
It wasn't their problem.
That's what's ridiculous to me.
They're living in the here and now. That's for the people that after me to deal with. I don't.
Yeah.
I just wonder how much John Buckland ever contributed to his PERS, because we all know, right? He's getting a big fat pension check. Did he contribute?
I really don't know. But I'll guarantee you.
Well, he's been retired for a while.
I'll guarantee you this. The majority share was contributed by the people.
Oh, the majority plus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have many John Bucklands and Stan Clevelands running all throughout California, and
Oh, it's epidemic.
yeah, it's an epidemic for sure. So, anyway,
So there won't be a forum tomorrow night, just in case you were wondering.
yeah.
The Sutter County taxpayers pulled out.
So
There won't be a forum.
There will not.
I'm actually happy about that because I've heard.
Well,
I heard
if
all
it was hosted by the Peel Democrats,
Yeah.
what kind of forum is it?
I've heard all I need to hear from all those guys, and I'm sick of softball questions. You know, like I said earlier, I brought my book here from Chris Ann Hall, and these are just a few subtitles, you know, and I just flipped it open at random, and it says, "Tyrannized enough already." That's one chapter. "Heavy taxes," another chapter. "No voice," another chapter. "Mandates," "Economic enslavement." Wow. Economic enslavement. "Invasion of privacy and property," and on and on and on it goes. So how about that?
And just for the benefit of Brad Westmoreland, Chris Ann Hall does have a law degree. And therefore, according to his standards, she is able to understand the Constitution because, as he's so boldly told us, you have to have a law degree in order to understand the Constitution.
yeah,
so
you-
we couldn't possibly understand it.
Bradley
But there you have
Westmoreland.
it.
Who is he? Oh, he's the guy that's for No on 6
Yes.
that Lou Benninger's endorsing or wants
Yeah,
to have in there for the race, correct?
I think that might have been a
Well,
total
that
mistake.
That
on
was
his
just
part.
too much marijuana smoke.
I'm
up
sorry,
there.
I just can't let it go. I love Lou. Don't get me wrong. I think Lou does a great job for the area, and I love the man. I do. He's great. But you screwed up, buddy. And my job is to tell you, you know what? We're not going to see eye to eye 100% of the time.
I think he's a union lawyer, isn't he?
No two men are, and that's the way it goes.
Bradley
and this is one that we're not going to
Westmoreland's
see eye to
a
eye.
union lawyer.
You know,
That's why it's for the unions.
Lou's tough enough to take it. That's
Exactly.
So
That's
there you go.
I'm not going to hurt his feelings, and we're not going to. It's not going to be like me and whatever his name is, Andy Vasquez, where I got in here that morning and was fired in 10 minutes because we couldn't.
Yeah. That's
30 seconds because we couldn't see eye to eye. I know me and Lou are going to have
Lou,
conversations.
Lou doesn't publicly endorse anybody.
No.
He puts out, when people ask for it, his picks.
Lou's picks.
And he stands behind it. He's like, look, you can disagree with me. This is the way I'm going. And he has his own reasons for doing that.
Look at this. I'm getting
He
beat
had
up
a-
on by my own crew about Lou.
He had a turd in there too, didn't he?
Yeah.
That's okay, you know. But we all know Bradley Westmoreland, not a good deal. He's a no on 6, so he wants us to continue paying exorbitant taxes on our fuel.
Yeah, because in 2020, I think it is, we're going to have a 72-cent increase.
Now, when I
On our
see
fuel.
when I see the commercials on television, which you can't avoid them, they're just mass amount of them. Okay,
Don't watch television.
yeah,
There's
I
your
know. But I like to be in bed with my wife, and
I hear you.
she,
Well, I
you know,
hope you like to be in bed with
and,
your wife.
and she's
Let's
watching
hope it's
TV,
nobody
you know,
else.
so I get it by default.
Okay.
So,
Yes.
but typically it's not my cup of tea to watch television. But there is plenty of advertisement on there. Now,
Speaking of advertising,
you have the
Hold on, let me finish.
you have the police association for prison guards pushing for no on 6. You got the fire pushing for no on 6. I mean, what's the skin in the game for those guys?
Unions.
everybody who's going to get out something out of it wants no on it. Everybody who's
Yeah.
going to pay for it wants yes on it.
Yeah.
Pretty simple.
Right. That's about
Yes
it.
to repeal the gas tax.
Yes.
Yes on 6.
So
But
you-
it's not just a repealing the gas tax. It's also repealing that they can ever do that again and shove it down our throats without a vote. I mean, there's a lot more to it whenever you get
Yeah.
into it than just repealing the gas tax, and we really need to take that for what it is.
Yes.
Because they're not going to be able to do that again if shoved down our throats and say, oh, well, here's another tax that you're going to eat whether you like it or not.
Right.
So really, that tax is the hardest on the lowest echelon of the economic
Absolutely.
scale, right?
And that's
Well,
typically
hang
what
on.
happens. You have the Democrats supporting these things that hurt their people the most.
Well, and another one is 10.
yes,
yeah,
rent control.
10 is not.
Hang on, I'm gonna play a couple commercials real quick,
Okay.
and then we'll come right back.
Okay.
Badly written, that's Proposition 10. It does the opposite of what it promises. Prop 10 will drive up rents, take rental housing off the market, and make it harder to find a place to live. And Prop 10 has no protection for renters, seniors, veterans, or the disabled, and no provisions to treat homelessness or build affordable housing. That's why veterans, seniors, and affordable housing experts say no on 10. It makes a bad problem worse.
All right, Proposition 10.
Hang on.
So,
This is Yuba County Sheriff Steve
more.
Durfler. I fully endorse Captain Brandon Barnes to be your next Sutter County Sheriff. I've worked with Captain Barnes for over 20 years. Brandon is a graduate of the prestigious FBI National Academy. He was our former SWAT commander and chief of investigations and now holds one of the highest positions in law enforcement as jail commander. He leads and manages a staff of over 80 personnel and an inmate population of almost 400. Folks, your sheriff is the top law enforcement officer in the county. Experience and character are critical. That's why 13 active California county sheriffs, including myself, endorse him. I am beyond confident that Captain Barnes has the skills, the temperament, and the vision to lead Sutter County. I believe this is the most important vote on your ballot. I encourage you to vote Brandon Barnes for Sutter County Sheriff.
Paid for by Brandon Barnes for Sutter County Sheriff 2018.
All right, now we're back. Sorry about that. I'm pulling my stuff from everywhere nowadays. I'm not just keeping it on one system, so it takes a minute
okay.
or a second
To switch gears.
Yes. So that first one is Pat Sablehouse. He's actually an attorney in at my office. We share an office with him. And
Do you talk Constitution with him?
no, but I talk a bunch of other stuff with him, and he is very constitutional. But it's just very interesting to see that he even is putting out an ad on it. So, I mean, and that says a lot because we are, like it for better or worse, the wage income adjusted type housing is a lot of what we build. And wow, for us to not want it, there's got to be something there that's really, really bad.
Exactly. Yeah.
Powerful statement by him.
So,
True. Yeah.
and then Brandon Barnes, of course. Woohoo!
Yeah. Oh man.
I'm really hoping that we get Dennis Houck and what is his name? Stan Cleveland, Chuck Buck, Stan Can, get those three guys, and Paul Bossy, and all those guys get together and have a big old pity party.
Well,
Because then we don't have to go, and they can just have it on their own and be over there in the corner.
we got enough
Have a-
tissue, right?
Yeah, oh yeah,
Yes.
we got plenty of tissue.
Plenty of tissues.
So we'll send that over.
We
Yeah.
will be hosting an election party the night of the 6th at the Constitutional Republican headquarters.
Our last hurrah.
Yes.
Just because.
Quite frankly, I cannot wait to be done with this.
Yes.
It's been a grueling year.
Yes.
We're actually having a just because party on Thursday because we're done campaigning. We don't have to raise campaign funds at this point. We're going to just after we have our regular meeting, which is the fourth Thursday of every month. So this Thursday is the fourth Thursday. It's our meeting. So the meeting, I think we normally start at 6:30. We're going to start at 6 just so that we can talk for business for an hour. But at 7, we're having a just because
Well,
party.
tell the
And
public.
everybody's invited.
Yeah. What meeting are you talking about?
The Yuba Sutter Constitutional Republicans meets once a month on the fourth Thursday. And right now we're meeting at our Republican headquarters. And so since we're right there at the Party Central, we're going to go ahead and have a quick meeting, get that out of the way, and then just have some fun.
Well, there's a lot of fun to be had, I think. I think things are hopefully going to turn out our way.
I just had a little birdie tweet in my ear.
Chirp, chirp.
Apparently, Stan Cleveland Jr., the third,
The stirred.
was at the NRA dinner last night.
Oh, yes, I know that.
And he was telling people that he already had this one.
Oh, it's good to be confident.
The foolish man
scary
builds his
thought.
house upon the sand. Right?
Yes.
Talk about not following the plan. The foundation goes first.
And the rains came.
Nothing wrong with being positive.
Yep.
More
Well,
power
there's
to
a
'em.
difference of being positive and cocky.
That is true.
His mouth is writing a check that his can't cover. And
That's
that is why we need to
preposterous.
can stand. Is that true, though?
And while you're at it, Chuck Buck.
I just, I get this stuff. It just comes to me out of the air.
So
I
It's
repeat
like
it.
magic.
But
It
you got to
really is.
remember, I can't tell the truth. But I do have it on my phone for you all to see.
That's the rumor on you, huh, Jason?
Exactly.
Yes,
Yep, that's
Can't-
the
the
rumor.
latest.
You can't tell the truth.
You
But
can't
that-
tell
And
the
you're
truth.
an alcoholic or
Oh, yeah.
whatever.
That's the other rumor going around.
Yeah.
Lying alcohol.
So, when it comes to the sheriff, you played a advertisement for Brandon Barnes. So, truly, in my opinion, he is the man for the job in Sutter County.
Your opinion and everybody else's, it sounds like,
Yeah.
too. So,
I really have a vote of no confidence for Dennis Houck.
hey,
So, and it's hard to get it. It's hard to get my endorsement, to tell you the truth, because I'm pretty critical.
well, what I thought was funny is
Tom
remember
is discriminating.
we were all there. Tammy, myself, Bill, you were there when we interviewed Stan.
Yeah.
Stan told us point blank he did not endorse Dennis Houck, right?
He did
You guys
say
remember that?
Yes, he did.
No,
Yes.
Roger that?
Roger.
Okay.
10-4.
Then the other day on Dennis Houck's flyer, guess who is endorsing him? Stan Cleveland. So somebody's lying. And I mean, I don't know who it is, and I don't care. But the fact is somebody there is lying.
Well, I just got a little birdie in my ear, too.
Oh, really?
Yes. Don't you just love all these little birdies out there?
No, it's awesome.
Flying
But
around and
nobody,
checking in?
nobody's listening to us.
Okay. Well, in case anybody's listening, I just received this message that old chicken hawk, Dennis Houck,
Dr. Dennis House?
Dr. Dennis Houck, has been spotted several times parked in front of houses that have barn signs. He has been seen taking pictures of the houses and writing something down. Is he making a mailer list for his next hit mailer? It will be interesting if those houses get something in the mail in the next few days.
You know what is awesome? Is maybe he's Santa Claus and he's making a list and checking it twice.
But he looks more like the Grinch.
Hey,
You're a mean one.
so it's there's definitely a little war going on for these offices, isn't there?
Oh.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
desperation. Going back to the whole forum for Can Stan and Chuck Buck, those two, I asked, how did this happen? How does something like this happen? Well, David Coonan called Pat Miller and asked if they could, sponsor a forum. Now, you realize that Dave Coonan is Recycle Industries. Sweet Life? Okay?
Okay. Okay. So-
David Flores is David Coonan's brother-in-law. David Flores is Dan Flores's brother.
There's no nepotism here.
Yeah.
Just
You see, it is
walk on
absolute desperation time. There are the ones that must have a seat at that city council table.
So
You
this
follow
is
me?
part of a network.
Oh,
or
yes.
a good old boy club. That's what we
The
call it,
C's,
the
the
club.
corruption, collusion, control.
They put you in jail right away.
We're all going to have to move.
I honestly, if things really don't go our way, I'm a little paranoid.
I'm not moving.
I'm not paranoid.
I'm
I know a nice place in Idaho.
I'm 100% good with what I believe. So and not afraid to say it. So, and I'm not moving anywhere.
Randy says he has 2 extra bedrooms, and we already have one.
Yeah.
No, I already have
That's
the
our
other
good
one.
friend that moved to Idaho.
Yeah, it was actually on the show. Liz took his spot. He moved to Idaho, so he bailed before the election.
But he's going to come back for the election.
Yes, for the election night party.
Night. Yes.
Yeah, that'll
November 6th, 441 Bridge Street, Sweetie.
We'll be streaming the results live.
the night of the.
I
You haven't
love.
listened to that whole. Listen to that thing that you did for Missler?
I don't have it
Oh,
right
you don't
now.
have that one?
I just got the.
That was
I'm
a
just
good one.
Pulling
Yeah.
from the sound bites.
So yeah, let's put out a shout out for John Missler on the
Yes.
write-in
Yes.
for Yuba County.
You have to write his name in. You will not see it on the ballot. It will not be there.
MISTLER.
But he is eligible to get your vote because he submitted whatever paperwork he had to get that authorization. So he is a legitimate write-in candidate.
Yeah, and I think it's important to note that when these people that just say, oh, I'm going to write in Joe Blow or Joe Smith, if they are not a legitimate write-in, their entire ballot is forfeited,
Yes.
right? It's
Yeah.
no good. So
Yeah.
So I was curious, and I'm pondering this, and maybe you guys can help me out. When it comes to the U.S. Senate, okay, we got Feinstein, and we have
Kamala.
Kevin Leon, or the
Leon.
sexier version, Kevin De Leon.
Okay, those are our two choices, all right?
Just yes.
Communist number 1 and communist number 2. So I was thinking, could I write somebody in there that
No.
would be eligible?
No, not unless you want to void your entire ballot.
Oh, will that will void my
Yes.
entire ballot?
If you
Okay,
are not
so
a legitimate write-in candidate, such as John Missler, District 5, Yuba County,
But he is a legitimate.
He
because
is.
He's,
If
he-
he's
yes.
passed all
well,
the
that's what
paperwork.
I'm not 100% up to speed. That's why I'm asking.
well, that's
So,
what we're here for, to inform and educate.
Yeah. So if I wrote,
Bill Bueller?
Casper or something like that,
Casper would be a good choice.
then that would void my whole ballot.
Yes.
Everything.
Yes.
Okay. So we don't
Best to
want to
just
do that.
leave it blank.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
Don't
there's-
vote for either communist.
the ones that I haven't been able to figure out are the Ninth Circuit judges. Those are the ones that I am just leaving
The
completely
Ninth
blank.
Circus.
Yep.
The Ninth Circus.
Yeah. I can't do that.
I think the Feather River Tea Party sent out a flyer on that.
They
and
did?
only recommended one. I can't remember which one it was.
Well, if you find
But
out,
at least I
let's-
mentioned their name, which is more than they do for us.
Yeah. So let's maybe we can do a little research on that this week and try and get because I'm in the dark on that too.
Well,
I
there's
mean, a man's got so much time.
right.
Yeah.
Well, there's an interesting debate going on about Kevin De Leon and Di-Fi. So Di-Fi is ancient, and when you walk around her, you can smell the mothballs, right? So the school of thought on Di-Fi is she's going to croak, hopefully just like Ruth Buzzard Ginsburg, and then
Buzzy?
Ruth
She
Buzzard.
Yeah.
does remind me of Buzzy. I'm laughing.
Yes, you mean you're just now getting it?
man.
Oh man,
Where
I
have I
have
been?
failed. I have failed in my humor. So, anyways, Di-Fi's ancient. So if she gets in, hopefully she passes.
Boy, I tell you, it's tempting then.
Yeah,
to
well,
vote.
but
I
Kevin,
mean, we've
But-
had that.
And here's the thing: is if she did something, if she did pass away because she's so old, and we had Cox in there, guess what? Now we get a Republican
Yes.
senator,
For the first time in what?
Yeah.
40
and I don't
years?
care if it's by default. I'm all about it. I don't care how we do it, just as long as we get it done.
at least since 1988.
Yeah.
At least. Yeah. So and the other thing about Di-Fi is, she is so top level. The length of time that she's been there, that's how they get appointed to all these really, really specialized committees. Whereas Kevin De Leon would be coming in as a freshman in the bottom of the cellar.
But he'd have all of his illegal family there to help him.
Yeah, I know. He said, half of my family's here illegally.
Yeah. So
We got 2 skunks.
there is this school of thought to vote for Di-Fi, and hopefully she'll
The Lord
say
takes her.
bye-bye.
Or 6 under.
So I'm trying to be as nice as I can. Yes.
She's a
Okay.
commie.
No doubt. She is anti-American, right? She does not regard our First Amendment rights, our
No.
Second
Oh,
Amendment rights.
Especially our Second Amendment.
Yes.
Especially, she says that all veterans have mental issues.
Rights only apply to her.
Yes. Yes.
That's what happens when you're
Her
so
bodyguards all carry squirt guns, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
And she had a Chinese spy driving her all over.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's
Only one.
right.
It wasn't like there was two of them.
It was for quite a number of years.
Wow.
Only 20.
Yeah.
Not amazing. What is wrong with us?
Okay, has anybody thought about this Proposition 5? Have you?
I voted yes for that.
That's a yes. Huh? It has to do with.
I'm a yes on 5.
Prop 13.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, it's supported by Howard Jarvis.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Taxpayers Association as a yes vote. So.
Yeah. They're pretty darn trustworthy.
And they have been in overdrive
Yes.
trying to, we've got a serious problem with corruption in this state. And some of the counties are super, super sophisticated at hiding money.
Well, and hiding other things.
And
too.
hiding other things too. Yeah. The one thing that I got a kick out of was this Measure K, No on K out here in Yuba County, is the Howard Jarvis attorney that's been working on this allegedly said, there's a lot of counties that are very sophisticated in hiding money and hiding other things. Yuba County is not one of those counties.
We have to vote yes on K, though.
Yes.
Or we're all going to die.
You're all going
We're
to
all
die.
gonna die. I mean, the whole county is going to either burn or be shot.
Well,
One of
yeah.
the two. You're going to die if you vote no on K.
Right.
Just look
K
at
has
the
to
signs.
pass.
The signs are terrifying.
Just
Yeah.
like if we vote yes on 6, all the bridges are going to collapse,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
And the roads are going to
Have
turn
you
to
heard that
dust.
commercial? The bridges are going to collapse. There's going to be a
Yeah.
pothole around every corner,
Yeah.
and no medical aid or police are going to make it to your house because they're going to fall in a pothole or fall off a bridge. It's going to be mass hysteria.
No shopping
Dogs
cart
and cats living together.
Oh,
Yes.
I mean, it's going to be
Wow.
crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, oh.
Apocalyptic,
That's
right?
scary, especially the dog
Scary.
and cat part. man. Wow.
I'm afraid. I'm very
Yes.
afraid.
You should
Fish
be.
are going to walk right out of the lakes. They're just going to walk out of the lakes.
That would be a good thing, wouldn't it?
That's kind of like a
wouldn't have to
Dr.
go
Seuss
after
book,
them.
isn't it?
Telling you what,
It's writing itself.
going to be crazy.
I think that Measure K, it has gotten a lot of attention, and it has been a grassroots effort, and it's going to fail. And if it doesn't fail, the county's going to be in big trouble because they touted it as something it is not.
Yeah.
Just like government does.
Reality, if they pass Measure K, then the people get what they deserve. Really, don't you think? I mean,
Well,
if you're going to pay, if you're going to continually,
They get to pay
Vote.
off a lot of those pensions over
if
the
you
years.
continually vote to tax yourself more,
Yeah,
I
but if
mean-
you don't work, you're not voting to tax yourself more.
Right,
You have to
that's
have a job
true.
in order to do that.
that's true.
I mean,
and I get where you're going on that.
it's kind of like Kamala Harris really wanting a communist country. Whenever she says, okay, she wants to put a bill forth, or did put a bill forth, that if you make less than if your household makes less than $100,000 a year, you're going to get $500 a month, and you can take it monthly or you can take it annually. And if you make less than $50,000 a year, then you're going to get $250 a month, and you can take it monthly or you can take it annually. Really? Who's going to pay that?
Well, she is.
Oh, let me tell you, everybody sitting here right now.
Yep.
So they're going to take it from me. They're going to put a gun to my head and tell me either you pay this or you go to jail, and then give it to somebody else. That is extortion.
Big time. And I actually heard that same topic being talked about on the radio this week.
That's extortion.
Yes, yeah. So,
I mean, it's no different than the mob saying, hey, yo, you got to give us the 10%, man, or we're going to shoot you. And
Hey,
you're
I'd
gonna...
gladly give the mob 10% if they'd protect me from government.
No kidding.
Be a hell of a lot cheaper.
It would definitely be cheaper.
Hey, I'm watching some of the stuff. I'm watching history on America right now. I'm at the Jesse James, Wyatt Earp, the Pinkertons. The Pinkerton Army. That was basically a bunch of thugs that worked for the railroad.
Yeah.
It's really, really interesting at how all that came together at that time in our country. But anyway, it's getting off the beaten path. But I just wanted to throw that out there that, it happened before. But now it's our government that are actually the thugs at work.
yeah. I happened to watch a documentary on the railroad.
Yeah.
So a coming from the east to the west a couple weeks back. It was very interesting too.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I mean, we live in just an amazing country, but unfortunately, it's been hijacked.
Hey, has anybody? Is there just an unusual amount of voter material in your mailbox? Oh my gosh!
I wish you had a fireplace.
Honestly,
I do.
We have a fire pit.
I got a fire pit in my backyard, and we're burning stuff every night.
You should have brought it over the other night when we were out there.
it's incredible.
Bring
It's
it, use it
incredible.
for fire starter.
I brought one in today though, because some of them are useful.
Yes, I got that one you're holding there.
Yep, that's a winner right there. Dr. Bal Dillon, Sutter County Superintendent of Schools. Okay, so Bal is the Brandon Barnes of the Superintendent of Schools. She has 32 county superintendents behind her, statewide.
Does Rooster even have a teaching credential?
I think that he may have a teaching credential that went into effect August 22nd, but the administrative credential, still no. No. But Tom Russer, if he was such a wonderful Republican, I got a robocall. Honestly, the guy sounded, I could hardly understand him on the phone. He sounded like he had a mouthful of rocks. And the one thing he said at the end of the call, which, I'm not a big rules person all the time, but I have run for office, and it's very important at the end of any robocall that you say, this is Tom Russer, and I approve this ad, or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That didn't happen. But the guy says he's the only Republican running. Well, you know what? If Tom Russer, and I'll just throw in Dennis Houck for that matter, if they are just such fine Republicans, how come no Republican groups have endorsed them?
Mm-hmm.
Scam.
Yeah. I just love it. Just because they have an R next to their name does not mean that they're the right choice.
Well, are we going to use that as our segue into Sutter County? Just because they have an R behind their name?
Ooh, well, we could. We'll save that till next hour.
Next hour we'll dive into Sutter County.
Ooh, watch out, Sutter County.
I do want to wrap up the Prop 5 deal because I kind of wanted to go over the props today because we didn't last week.
Let's talk
so
about
Prop 5, the thing that I like to do is look who's opposing these things. It helps me make my decision, who's for, who's against. The Prop 5 deal, when you go and you look to see who opposes it, it's the measures opposed by California Democratic Party, the California Teachers Association, and the Southern California Association of Nonprofit Housing and other housing and labor advocacy groups. So
all good socialists.
Yeah. So an important thing to keep in mind is to take advantage of Proposition 5 benefits, you have to be a homeowner. So if you're not a homeowner, you don't get any benefits. But if you're not a homeowner, you reap all the benefits of higher taxes on the homeowners. So you don't like that disproportional thing that happens to where, the homeowners are getting this benefit, but I don't get any of that benefit, and I get less taxes from those.
When you're a homeowner, you have to pay your garbage and your water. It's not included in your rent.
So really, it's an attack on, these guys that you just mentioned, they're attacking the American dream.
Yep. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
the
saying
American dream is to have your own home and to prosper and live free, right, in the USA.
Yeah.
So.
And they want you penalized because you've achieved that American dream and you own a home, but I need more welfare, so you need to pay more taxes on that home so I can benefit more.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying.
That's tyranny.
Tyranny.
We're paying for our own enslavement.
Yes.
Yep.
So definitely we're going to vote yes on 5.
Yes. So.
But 1 through 4, no.
No.
Basically,
more.
all the propositions are a no, except for 5 and 6.
And 7.
And maybe 7.
I'm hoping for
7. It all depends what your preference is on 7. I think I'm leaning
daylight
toward
savings?
it.
I'm gonna vote
I'm
yes.
leaning toward a yes because mine is yes on 5, 6, and maybe 7.
Every
That's where I'm
time the
leaning.
time changes, it takes me 2 weeks to catch up, and that's been like that for the last 10 years.
Gosh, we lost our power yesterday. It was crazy. I think somebody must have hit a transformer or something. And
what time was it?
It was early.
Oh, it was early?
And
Oh,
then
okay.
wh-
We're trying
when
to figure out what the explosion was last night.
In our
Well, did you-
neighborhood.
did
and
you
I
ever-
wasn't setting off fireworks.
That was not fireworks.
never were.
The ticket's probably in the mail.
Yeah.
No, there was an explosion.
Did you hear it?
No.
Oh, it was loud. You probably were in
So
earshot.
I'm outside in a pair of shorts,
no shirt.
gun tucked in, no
enough.
shirt, and no shoes. And here comes my neighbor from around the block, pair of shorts,
No shirt.
no shirt, gun, And we're looking at each other. He goes, "Did you hear that?" And I go, "I was hoping that you heard it because I thought I was nuts. Nobody else was out here." And he's going, "Yeah, I heard it. My wife woke me up off the couch." I'm like, yeah, it was loud.
She's like, get out there, see what that was.
So we don't know?
No, we
didn't
never
find out?
found it.
No sirens
What was
or
really
nothing?
weird was it was loud, right?
We lost power last night also. We lost it early in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And then we lost it probably at about 8:30.
Okay, well, this was about 10:15.
Okay.
It was after 10:30. And my son wasn't home yet, and so I'm, calling. I called his brother because I couldn't get a hold of him. He wasn't answering, and I found him at his brother's house, and they decided to stay there that night. I'm like, well, I just needed to make sure everybody's
Everybody's safe.
okay, and it wasn't my son
Right.
crashed into a telephone pole or something. So
A
it was all good.
mother's worry never ends.
No.
No matter how old they get.
I guess you're right.
Yeah.
Me, I don't worry too much. So we had some kind of big explosion, but you don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And this is in the
South Yuba City.
Yuba City.
South Yuba City last night.
Southeast.
Southeast.
Yes. So, well,
In between the homeless corridor and Bogue Road.
That's what I told Jason. Like, well, maybe it was a from over the levee.
Maybe one of those homeless people were cooking meth down there.
Yeah,
And kaboom.
So we've got another one that just came in, and it says, "The truth. Stan gets things done." So he has to start off with his charging his statement with, "The truth. Stan gets things done."
So can we remember the famous statement? Once you're explaining, you are
Losing.
losing.
Yes, once
That's
you're
a fact.
explaining.
Loser.
And we
Okay.
all know that
Oh,
it's a one-man
this is-
show, right? If things are happening, it's
This is so awesome.
all him.
So here we go. Here is. I cut it off. Dang it! I need another page, dude.
How'd
I need the
Stan
other
get
page.
your number?
I have. We have our one listener that is sending me this stuff, and
It's a good thing we have that one listener.
it's on. You need to send me the other page with Stan off
All right, we're down to 1 minute before we got to take our
okay
top of the hour break.
He's
I
sending
just-
me the one with Stan and where he's endorsing how.
That's preposterous.
Well, really quick, since we're winding down at the end of the hour, at the top of the hour, I just got a text message from Brandon Barnes. I love that guy. He took a picture of my oldest son and my husband there at Twin Cities Rod and Gun Club today, shooting the M1 Garand.
M1 carbine. Yeah.
It's a big one. I'll show you the pictures at break.
It's a big one.
Yeah.
It's a big one.
And there's prizes involved.
I think that's a 30-06 round.
It is.
I'm not 100% sure.
It is,
but I think
100%.
can't win more than one thing in a weekend. He already won. He already won a gun at the NRA.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Oh, your husband won a gun?
Yeah. And we weren't even present.
Great.
A little one. It's a little pistola.
Nice.
Wow, there's
I'm
a
happy
lot
to hear
of
that.
there's a
Okay,
lot of this stuff.
we gotta
Top of the
go.
hour.
Oh, okay. We'll be right back after this.
Closer.
Check out the Territorial Dispatch. The paper is a weekly and can be obtained free at distribution or by mail through subscription. It's the only locally owned and operated newspaper in the region. The paper is the rest of the story. And also check out the E-Territorial. It's an online version of the Territorial Dispatch which features local news and events for the Yuba Sutter, Colusa, and Nevada County areas. You'll also find daily and breaking news updates, current traffic, and weather information, along with a calendar of local events. Visit the E-Territorial at eterritorial.com.
My name is Mark Boomgarden, and I believe in hard work, honesty, American values, and service to the community. Those are the values that have guided me in a lifetime of serving Yuba City as a firefighter, fire chief, businessman, and community volunteer. Those are also the values that have led me to run for council. This is not about fame, climbing the political ladder, or for money. At least, it's not for me. That is why I will not accept any benefits and will donate 100% of my city council pay to local charities. I will tackle wasteful spending, make fighting crime a top priority, bring new focus to dealing with the growing homeless problem, ensure better disaster preparedness, and invest in fixing our roads and water infrastructure. This is our city, yours and mine, so I will always listen and be accessible to you. That's why I've put my personal phone number on all of my campaign material. To learn more, visit markboomgarden.com. That's Mark with a C, Boomgarden with 2 O's and 2 A's. This is Mark Boomgarden, and I approve this message.
Attention Yuba City voters. In just a few short years, the City Council has voted to increase our water, sewer, and garbage bills, and even started discussion on a sales tax increase. It's an out-of-control money grab. I'm Dave Shaw, a veteran, small business owner, and community volunteer, and I'm running for Yuba City Council. As a local resident for over 30 years, I'm the CEO of Shaw & Associates and an expert in wealth management, taxes, and accounting. I was voted Yuba Sutter's best financial advisor, and my firm was named the 2017 Small Business of the Year. As your councilman, I will move funds from administration to public safety and road repairs. I'll revisit the water and garbage rate increases, and I'll stop the dump because residents do not want a transfer station in the middle of town. And I will fight to stop giving pensions to council members. Remember, vote Dave Shaw for Yuba City Council. Proudly paid for by Dave Shaw for Yuba City Council.
Hi, my name is Stacy Brookman, and I formally request your vote for a seat on the Yuba City City Council. I am a longtime resident of Yuba City, a retired deputy sheriff, and a local small business owner. If elected to the council, there are several items on which I will place my focus. They are economic development, maintaining proper public safety staffing levels, providing solid leadership to our city employees, continuing on the path to a solution of the homeless issue, cleaning up our rivers, and addressing the looming PERS bubble. We currently have a council that is divided, and it has been made clear this division is not good for the city. As a council member, I give you my word that I will work hard to establish solid working relationships with not only the other members of the council, but other members of the community as well. To do this, I will start day one by showing respect. Respect for the city, respect for city employees, respect for the other council members, and most of all, respect for the community. Please remember to demand respect on November 6th and place your vote for Stacy Brookman.
Hey, Sutter County, vote Val Dillon for Superintendent of Schools. Hi, I'm Tanya Cartwright, a local elementary teacher and coach of 25 years. I've known Val Dillon for over 20 of those. It's a no-brainer to vote Val on your ballot. She's the candidate with the most education, the most experience, hands down.
I'm Dr. Lori Goodman, Principal Superintendent of Winship Robbins Elementary. I love the direction Val is taking Sutter County schools. Small districts like ours have a real voice now. Dr. Dillon believes in funding and supporting small districts. She is helping us get the most out of every dollar for student success.
I'm Stephanie Pasquale, owner of New Adventures Preschool, Inc. I've known Val for over 20 years. Education continues to be a big part of my life, and I encourage you to vote Dr. Val Dillon for Sutter County Superintendent of Schools.
Vote Val on your ballot.
Paid for by Dr. Val Dillon for Sutter County Superintendent of Schools 2018.
All right, so
Whoa.
we're back.
That's a lot of ads.
Yes, it is. Takes a little bit.
And we're behind every single one of those people, right?
Yes.
Yes, we are.
It only took 6 minutes for that.
And
And
Missler.
John Missler.
Why
Yes.
Oh, gosh.
We didn't get him in there.
I will get his ready to go.
Okay.
Give me a minute.
We'll get it queued up.
Cue him
We're
up.
ready to go.
So, can I say this, that the reason that we're here talking about this, the politics in our area, is because we are tired of being taxed and taxed and taxed, and at the same time having our freedoms reduced. Okay.
You haven't heard the. I bought a ticket for the skunk train for after the election when I'm going over to Fort Bragg. You got to pay a tax on original railroad tracks.
What?
Yeah. So I mean that's the main crux of the reason we spend these all the time that we do, because it's not just 2 hours on Sunday. You know, it consumes a lot of our time, and we've seen the corruption from top to bottom, from the local all the way up to the swamp in D.C.
Yeah.
So we got the local swamp and we're just kind of sick of it. But I'm going to read this little bit from Chris Ann Hall's book, and it says, "Heavy taxes. America in 1776 was no exception. In the French and Indian War, Great Britain had incurred a large debt defending the colonies. The government needed to recoup that debt. They decided to impose consumption taxes upon the colonists. The items taxed were things the colonists needed and used on a daily basis. For instance, linen, lumber, tea, sugar, paper, ink, etc. Unfortunately, the American colonists were expected to bear this tax burden while the rest of the British Empire enjoyed the fruits of colonial labor." Then it skips a paragraph and it says, "Mandates. Parliament paid no mind to the colonists' concerns and did not stop with just consumption taxes. To maximize their revenue from the colonists, they decided to not only tax these items, but also to mandate that the colonists purchase those items from approved sources. The colonists opposed these taxes and the laws being created to enforce them. They saw this as a form of slavery and systematic impoverishment." Now,
Gospel.
man, is
Gospel.
that a mouthful?
That's gospel.
Yeah.
You mean
and it's going on today just like it's going on back then.
300 years ago, I thought only Donald Trump was responsible for tariffs. You just said no.
Oh yeah, no. They've
giving
been
you a
doing
hard
it forever. And so here we are, full circle. Yeah, we're full circle again, back on the plantation.
Here we are again.
Back on the plantation.
Uncle Sam's plantation.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
Pretty much.
The IRS's plantation. You name it. I mean, there's so many owners of the plantation, and we're the serfs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, we're paying for it.
Yeah. So, where were we headed?
Are you ready? Are you ready to jump
headed
into Sutter
for
County?
the big Sutter County
Sure.
revelations.
Now make sure.
Remember, I was up in the woods all week, so I don't know much.
Well, we're going to bring you up to speed.
You're going to get educated.
We're going to bring you up to speed. I was listening to that song coming in here today. That's so awesome.
It's fitting, isn't it?
Yes, yes. So I would caution folks in Sutter County, do not dive in head first because you will likely suffer a vertebrae break with all the garbage that's in the Sutter gutter right now. We'll jump in feet first. How's that?
Sure.
Okay. So on Friday afternoon, if you're following the case of the embattled investigator Jason Parker.
Not battered, let's be clear.
Embattled.
Yes,
No.
embattled. It's different. He's not battered.
Yes, Dennis Houck is the only one. He
Who's
has been a
battered.
victim of online bullying.
Battering.
And he's
Yeah,
battered.
Yes.
He's been battered.
Battered. He's a battered man. No.
Battered, yeah.
No,
He
Jason Parker is embattled.
Yes.
Embattled. Yes. He's in a fight.
Yes, and he's got an army behind him. And finally, perhaps we'll see some justice here. So, if you're following his story, you know that Amanda Hopper, way back, it's been over a year, 2 years, 18 months, she came before the Sutter County Supervisors and she said, I cannot do my job without Jason Parker. So the board voted and they brought him over and created a position for him. And they were getting lots of work done when he first got there. They really were.
Kicking butt, taking names.
Yep, they were. And then all of a sudden, D.A. Hopper got herself allegedly a boyfriend.
A boo.
Yeah, within the department, right? Yeah.
Oh, that's not right.
That never happens.
Oh, gosh.
Now,
Apparently,
can I ask you this? Because I was under the assumption that she was married.
she,
I believe.
at the time, when this was going down, she was separated. I believe now she is divorced.
Okay.
It's only okay if you're both married.
Oh, boy.
Well, I'm just want to get the facts because
Okay, let's
I
stick
still
to the
believe
facts.
in marriage. You know.
I think everybody in this room does.
Yeah.
Would go along with that.
Okay.
Okay.
So I believe in marriage, and that's the only woman for me is my wife.
Do you hear that, Mary Burns? You
can
are
you-
one lucky gal.
Can you dig that? Right?
Yeah,
that's
I
the
dig
way
it.
it's supposed to be. Yeah.
I'm digging it right now. So, anyhow, apparently there was a little extracurricular activities going on.
No. I'm shocked.
On 2nd Street. And so Jason Parker was getting, talked to by different employees, and they were feeling uncomfortable with what was going on. So he brought it to
D.A. Hopper.
The attention
yes,
of...
the attention of the boyfriend. I think that I can name him because there's a public document now that's out. So, but I'm not gonna call him out. But
They can go to the public document.
yeah, you can go to the public document. So anyhow, when Jason Parker brought it to the attention of D.A. Hopper, she excommunicated him.
She didn't need him so much
No.
anymore.
No, she shipped him across town. He couldn't do his job. It'd be like, this is what my analogy was. It'd be like the San Francisco Giants playing at AT&T Park, but Bruce Bocce's at Pier 39. Does that make sense?
Makes no sense.
I get an idea what you're saying, but I don't watch the.
He was shipped out.
I don't know who those guys are.
They shipped him out, and then there was nothing by Human Resources where he was reprimanded. I mean, the guy has a stellar career.
But that'll be all better now because we got that new Human Resources
Right.
lady. That's
Right. Well, Amanda tried to destroy Jason Parker along with investigator David Williams, who served 29 years
29 years.
with an impeccable background, not any, just no bad marks in his record or Parker's. So Jason Parker was subsequently fired, and he had a problem with that and stated it was wrongful. And he tried to plead with the supervisors, you're doing the wrong thing, but they terminated him. So he got himself an attorney, and he was fighting it. And on Friday, the ruling came out because with his unjustified termination, it went to a judge in Sacramento. And he saw the judge, I want to say sometime in July. And the ruling came back on Friday afternoon. And the ruling was that it was a wrongful termination. Now, Jason Parker is not perfect. None of us are.
No.
He made a couple of mistakes, but not large enough mistakes for Human Resources to even reprimand him, demote him. So I'm telling you what's going to happen here, folks, now. There is a lawsuit coming to Sutter County, and you better bend over and hang on because we're going to get it. And
another one.
And the thing that really just pisses me off right now is Jim Whitaker. Supervisor Jim Whitaker has already said that when this comes before the Board of Supervisors on November 6th, he is recusing himself. That guy is a chicken
hawk.
A chicken.
Okay, can you explain, because when we first heard this, we were at a loss. Okay, a judge has made a ruling. What possibly could the Board of Supervisors have a vote on?
They still have the opportunity to fire him. Now, if
Or
they
reinstate him, you mean?
or the judge
He's
didn't-
already been fired, right?
He's been fired. The judge said in Sacramento, I'm sorry.
Yes.
The judge from Sacramento said he needs to be reinstated immediately.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
There we go.
So the Board of Supervisors, they were contacted by their county council that this matter was going to come before the supervisors on November 6th, which is the general election day. Do we know if it's going to be on the consent calendar? No. It's probably going to be in closed chambers because it's a personnel matter, right?
Mm-hmm.
But for the fact that Jim Whitaker has already recused himself, he is a coward. He's got tons of things going against him to begin with. I don't even know how he's been on that board, how he can serve on that
I don't know how
board.
he still stays. Yeah.
Well, why would he recuse himself? Because he knows Amanda Hopper? I mean, all these people know each other. I mean, so you still have to do your job, I think,
Look,
don't you?
You know, I can tell you why he would recuse himself if you want a really good answer. Here's a guy who was accused of a bunch of stuff and quit his job to avoid the investigation, and now he's going to get to speak on behalf of a guy who fought to keep his job and was found acquitted to keep his job. Where does he have any right to be on that council or that supervisor's board to judge whether this guy gets to keep his job or not? Once he had to go and fight to keep his job, he wasn't even man enough to fight to keep his job because he probably knew he was guilty.
Yeah.
I mean, whenever you have people like that judging the fate of other people, we have a really, really screwed up system, folks. Because here's a guy who quit his job to avoid investigation. Am I not correct?
You are correct.
He quit. I'm scared. I'm gonna probably lose this. I'm gonna quit. Jason Parker stood up and said, "You know what? Do your best. I'm not guilty. Try and prove me guilty, but I'm not quitting. I'm gonna fight." And he fought and he won, and now they want this guy to be on part of the board to judge whether he gets his job back? Give me a break, folks.
It's really disgusting. And like you say, they could all recuse themselves. I mean, Jason Parker lost everything. Everything. I was told this morning, even he said we had to get rid of our family dog because we were moving somewhere where we couldn't have an animal.
No, he may get reimbursed for that whole time he lost when he was illegally fired.
They didn't have to eat the dog, did they?
No.
Oh, thank goodness.
They
Okay.
didn't eat the dog.
All right.
But I mean, can you imagine? Dogs are family.
Yes.
And when I heard that, I had not heard that one, and it was like, ugh.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the icing on this crap cake, right there.
So, Jason, he said, you said that's the system. I think it's. Can I elaborate? I think it's just the corrupt people in the system.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the problem, and it's a major problem because where does this guy have any right to sit on a board to judge whether this man gets his job back or not? Whenever you got a true man like Jason Parker that stood up and chased it down and said, "You know what? Prove me that I'm guilty."
Because he knew he was in the right.
Exactly. And so I'm sorry, but if you're going to cut your job loose and run, that doesn't look real good.
The longer they're in the system, the more they know how to use it.
I believe it goes back to the fact that our system was created for a moral people.
Yeah.
It's created to run on morality.
But I just wish more of our listening audience and people out there would think. I mean, I hate to say like I think, but that's the kind of thing that I look at whenever I look at, whenever you just sit and listen to the story. This is what everybody should be thinking is, how does a guy that quit his job and turned tail and run get to judge whether a guy who fought to keep his job and was found innocent gets to keep his job? It's amazing to me at how,
Upside down.
and backwards.
Upside down and backwards.
So, I mean, it's just amazing to me at how that works.
But
then he
Jason-
says, well, I'm going to recuse myself.
Yeah, well, see, here's the deal. If those supervisors vote against that judge in Sacramento who was unbiased and is saying he has to be reinstated, it was a wrongful termination, then Jason Parker will add each one of those people that go against the judge and name them in his lawsuit.
What I want to know, though, is Jason Parker's obviously going to sue. I would. If somebody accused me of something that bad and I lost my job over it and I went after him, I would sue the pants off of him. Make no doubt about it. And I'm not a sue-happy person, but I would want justification. I would want to put the screws to him. But then who's going to pay for that?
It's amazing that they get to do all that and the people pay.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right?
We sitting right here get to pay.
Yeah.
We'll get to pay for it, even though we didn't back it, we didn't ask for it, we didn't think it was right in the first place. But now they're going to come after us and go, we need a 1% sales tax because we really screwed up this time and we need that money to pay him off because we don't want to get in trouble.
Right.
And here's the thing. Sutter County just said, thanks, Amanda. Can we have another?
Yeah.
Because they knew she had already cost the county hundreds of thousands of dollars in these lawsuits, and there were more pending.
Wasn't it $300,000 a new Chopra?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Wait till this one comes down the pike. We are talking probably $10 million. We'll see what happens.
So like you said earlier, they get what they deserve, and this is the unfortunate thing. You have the people that are just so steadfast, and they're all out there calling us rhinos because we're not saying just because they're a Republican, we're going to vote for them. How stupid is that? You're going to vote for somebody just because of the party affiliation they claim? How about somebody with integrity? How about somebody who knows the job?
Yeah.
How about somebody who's experienced?
Somebody that can stay in their own lane, right?
Yeah.
And just do the work of the people. There's so much drama surrounding that department over there. It's disgusting. But here's why Jim Whitaker has said he's going to recuse himself. And he has told people, make sure you tell everyone, I am recusing myself. Coward, lily-livered chicken, you know what? Because he says his cousin works as an investigator in the DA's office currently.
There's a lot of that cousin, spouse,
My brother-in-law really needs a job.
There's a lot of
Could be also,
connections.
a little bit of too much time on your hands, huh? Like idle hands are the devil's workshop. When you should be working, you're schmoozing up to Mary over here or Lisa, right? So
It's wrong. It's just wrong on all levels, and the taxpayer, the resident, the typical person that's just trying to work and keep their head above water, feed, provide for their family, they just don't know what they don't know.
Yeah.
So here's what I would like to see. For one, I would like to see the 35-page report.
38.
38-page report that the judge put out that probably gives in detail the reasons why he was unjustly fired and probably points out to a lot of the wrongdoing of the people who are in power right now. And then secondly, I'd like to see the gosh darn grand jury report.
Yeah, you know what? You make an interesting point, and since it is a 38-page report, the judge did say that it was unjustifiable termination, right? But that the investigator Brandon Oakley was dishonest, and that the testimony that he gave was not credible. And the judge said, in his testimony, in his best opinion, the judge's best opinion, he felt that Brandon Oakley had something to gain by lying about Jason Parker.
That wouldn't be the same Brandon Oakley that Jason Parker was concerned about.
I think it is. And
my God.
Jason Parker brought him over. I mean, during the evacuation, not this past January or whenever, February, the evacuation, Brandon Oakley and his family went to the Parkers' home in the foothills and stayed with him. The Parkers gave up their room for that family.
Now, you might find this hard to believe, okay? And this is from a seasoned pastor, okay? Probably 45 years. And this is one of his slogans, and it's going to blow your mind, okay? And it is, the better you treat people, the more they hate you. Wrap your mind around that one,
That's
huh?
a true statement.
There is truth in that statement.
Yeah, the Lord gave us a commandment to love your enemies.
So now we have two reports that people had better take a look at. We have a 38-page ruling from this judge in Sacramento.
So that should be a public record, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
then the second one is, like Tammy alluded to, is our Sutter County grand jury report.
And
which,
that should be a public
Well,
record, too.
it's public record. That one from the judge, I'm sure, will be public record to everybody, unless you live in Sutter County. But the Sutter County courts are going to kind of squash it to where you can't see it.
Well,
Everybody
there's
else
one
can see
less,
it, but if
there's
you live in
one
Sutter
less
County, we
judge
don't.
around to try and squash.
Yeah. Well, but if you live in Sutter County, you shouldn't be allowed to see that.
So here's my thing with the grand jury report. They would have been so much better to just have released the thing when they were supposed to.
Yeah.
But now we have this thing and the Sutter County grand jury report.
And
so what
Aronson retiring.
Yeah, and Aronson retiring. What are people going to think? What the hell is in that grand jury report?
Yeah, people are dropping like flies.
Yeah, what is going on? And meanwhile, the funders of this corruption.
But there's nothing to see here, folks.
Right.
Nothing to see. Keep moving.
Move along.
Move along. Move along. There's nothing to see here.
Well, and David Williams is still out there, right?
David Williams, when he retired December 29th of 2017, 2 days prior, Amanda Hopper put a press release out that David Williams and Jason Parker were not credible. Why they did that, why she did that, we will never know. But yeah, while he was working in the district attorney's office, he also went to law school and got his juris. So he's a smart guy, and he was an asset to that department and to Sutter County. Right now, he is doing it the courtroom thing, the defense.
So I'll just say this: he may be, but he ain't no smarter than the rest of us. You know, I'm going to put that in for the people. You know, just because you're a lawyer don't mean you're,
Well, he's more than a lawyer.
cut above all of us.
He is an experienced.
I'm not talking about him personally.
Okay.
I'm talking about all lawyers. You know,
The fact is, they put on their pants the same way I do, one
Yes,
leg at a time.
There you go. That's
Plain
what
and
I'm.
simple.
Yeah, but they
That's the
can read
point
the
I'm trying to
Constitution,
make.
and you can't.
Don't care. I really, I learned to not get hung up on people's titles and everything else a long, long time ago. You put on your pants the same way I do.
I agree with that,
the way it
but
goes.
when you're doing your full-time job and also trying to better yourself, I think there's something to be said. I know, we all do it.
Yeah, I'm doing it. You're doing it.
I can't do it in a courtroom though.
Yeah.
I wish I could.
Well, you can
I'm
if
a
you're
born arguer.
If you're a juror,
Yeah,
and in reality, that's the strongest position supposed to be
not in Sutter County.
in the courtroom is the juror.
Well,
Yes.
not here, because if that were the case, we would have a grand jury report,
That's a fact.
right?
Right. But the way our system was designed, it was to take all the power back to the people by putting it in the jury's hands. And they can nullify the legislature, the whole 9 yards at that point. But when you speak the truth about that, like I just did, they're going to say that you're
an
wrong.
irritant.
You're an irritant. Yeah, you're wrong.
Just a damn irritant.
But hey, on my email, you know how you put a little tagline on your email?
He said the great irritator.
Mine doesn't say the great irritator. I might put that in there. But it says, juries exist because judges cannot be trusted. And that's the facts right there.
Well, that's taking place right before our very
Yes.
eyes right now.
Yes.
I think the thing about it is, at what point do you feel so deceived, so manipulated? I thought that Amanda Hopper was the answer. I voted for her. I walked for her. I supported her. She is not an honest person.
I never thought it for an instant. And you guys remember that, right?
Yeah.
I said, no, I'm not buying her program.
Yeah.
And
we all
you
fell
know
for
who
it.
else didn't pick her? Lou Benninger.
Mm-hmm.
That
Really?
was, yeah.
Yeah.
She did not make Lou's picks.
Oh, I didn't know that. Wait. The first time?
Uh-huh.
The first time, really?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand the second time. That's obvious. She didn't make most of our list. I don't know how she got elected.
Well, there is a crap storm coming to Sutter County. That's all I can tell you. And who is going to end up paying for it? Us.
The people, they always pay for it.
And if those supervisors just open up the checkbook and write the check, that is just wrong.
Now, I would think, and I'm not up to speed on this, but I believe that the county probably has insurance for that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so they'll raise the insurance rates for sure.
Well, yeah. I mean, we have a deductible.
No matter what, the county's going to pay somehow, some way.
And either way, we're going to get hit with the bill.
Yes.
Whatever the bill is, we're going to get hit with it.
Yes.
It's going to be a big one. And you know what? He needs to do it.
But
I'm not Sue happy.
The nice thing, though, maybe we'll see some actual justice. So
Justice for Jason.
Yeah, it's nice to get justice once in a while because we don't get it that often.
But you know what? They could not apologize enough to this guy for what has transpired in his life, his career.
Yeah, he needs restitution.
Yeah.
Full.
For sure.
So, let's just reminisce a little bit about the Bundy family, what they did to them. Remember? Mm-hmm. They took over their ranch.
The Bundys, the Hammonds.
Yes, they set up snipers. They killed his cows, destroyed his infrastructure.
Waco, Texas.
Yeah. So we see that.
Ruby Ridge.
Ruby Ridge.
Lavoy Finicum.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Time and time again, we see that government overreach. And actually, they act with impunity. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. So we see quite a bit of impunity here.
It doesn't make any difference whether it's Republican or Democrat.
No.
It's still government.
Yeah, that's right. And we see a whole lot of people acting with impunity.
That's the establishment.
Yes.
Not Republicans, not Democrat, because the establishment is both sides.
Yes, that's it for sure.
You want to cue up that Mistler?
You guys ready?
Uh-huh.
Because I think I'm ready, actually, believe it or not.
You, for the very first time, had true transparency in government. If I'm elected to the board, and I expect that I will, it'd be my intention that I will be very much involved in the day-to-day operations of the county to a larger degree than I have been even as a watchdog. So let me assure you, the public will know more about their government than they do today.
That was from his debate with Alton Wright and
the other guy.
Randy Fletcher.
Yes. Hey, that is one of the best radio spots I've heard in a long time. I mean, he just said it like it was.
But you know what?
He told the truth, and it.
But that's
it
how
rang
John
beautiful.
Mitzler is. He's very well spoken. He gets to the point. No beating around the bush. No walking that fence trying to appease everybody. He gets it done. Folks, you've got to get out and write his name in. You have to. Yeah. You really need to send a message, and it's so much more than just that county seat that you're sending a message about. Trust me on this one. It's going to send a really resounding message if you get him elected by write-in.
Big time.
And it is going to scare the crap out of every board of supervisors up and down the state. It's not just going to be your local board of supervisors. It's going to be up and down the state that is going to be terrified. Trust me.
All the other Yuba County districts are depending on you. The District 5 has a lot riding on their shoulders because it's up to them. The rest of the districts can't vote. They can't make that vote. It's only District 5 that can write that name in and get that vote. So we're counting on you. We are counting on you to make the right decision for all of Yuba County because he will be a member of that board that affects the entire county.
And, but it'll
and
also
there be transparency.
But it will also be for Sutter County, for Colusa County, for Butte County, because
Nevada
it's going to
County.
send a message that the people are paying attention. We're done lying down, and we're going to take back our board of supervisors. And think about it. We have 3 seats in 2 years in Sutter County. We send a message that we can get a write-in candidate elected. Wow.
The possibilities are endless.
Exactly.
Hey.
Get ready to give your seat up, boys.
Grace might get a position.
No comment.
Where's the crickets when you need them?
I literally am getting a twitch in the side of my mouth, and I'm like, where did that come from? That's not even funny. I'm just going to shut my mic off. I'm done.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
So did you see that on Tuesday that the Yuba County Board of Supervisors are going to rule on whether or not to go through with a lawsuit against PG&E for the Cascade Fire?
Yes.
I did read a little bit about that. So, I mean, I've been reading off and on about PG&E and the Cascade Fire.
Did you see where
And-
PG&E settled for that house that exploded on George Washington?
Yeah, $1 million.
Yes. Yes.
Monopoly.
Well, see, when I look at PG&E and I hear their advertisements on the radio, now we have our own weather center and blah, blah, blah.
Conservation
That is on,
Yeah.
I watch Hulu. That's on almost every break.
And public service announcements and on and on and on. And I actually had someone call me to give a survey on PG&E the other day. I'm one of them guys that answers the phone for surveys. My wife thinks I'm crazy for doing it. But so I answered a survey, but what I believe is PG&E is become an entity of the state,
Yes.
and we call that fascism. So the state and
But how can
business-
that be? It's the Public Utilities Commission
Yeah.
that protects them.
Yeah, they're in bed.
They're looking out for us, right?
They're in bed together, just like the local district attorney's
Yeah.
program going there.
And CalPERS.
Yes.
You can be sure of one
much
thing
that.
always. Whatever they say it is, it's the opposite
It's
of
the
that.
opposite.
Yeah.
Well, with Jason Parker, you're not going to see his story in the Appeal Democrat. You won't see it. No, the Appeal Democrat is going to learn about it just like everybody else does on
They'll read
Tuesday
about it in
when
the
the
paper.
territorial dispatch comes out.
Thank you, John Missler,
Yes.
for that.
Yes.
What would we
So-
do without a real source of news in this area? A real source of transparency in this area. Thank you, John Missler.
We know that the appeals to Democrats always leaves out part of the story. Okay? They
So-
always leave out part of the story. And that's their game.
Well, they tell one side of the story.
Yeah, so
Right?
they're leaving out the other part,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Generally, the truth.
Yeah. So
So everybody, pick up a territorial dispatch or get a subscription. It'll be mailed right to your house. It's a fraction of the cost.
You can't do that if you relied on the ones out of the post office anymore.
Oh, yes. Tell us about that.
Yeah, that was Mr. Wright's followers complaining to the postmaster that there should be no publications in the post office after John Missler had contacted both the Sacramento postmaster and the local postmaster up here in the foothills, and they agreed to waive that because the post office was a center of the community because there was no stores or anything else around. But those people are uninformed
So
now.
Alton Wright wants censorship, right?
Only when it applies to everybody else.
Yes. Yes.
Well, since Missler only lost by 14 votes, maybe Alton Wright's a little bit concerned because if my math is right and everybody votes the same, if John Missler can get 15, and it's going to be close. Don't don't gamble on this, folks. District 5, Yuba County, the dice are loaded.
Everybody who knows somebody in District 5, you need to personally call them, text them, email them, get in touch with them.
Randy said he didn't want that job anyway, right?
Well, he recuses.
Mistler. Missler, write it in on the line.
Mistler.
Yep.
Bill's going to sing a song. While you're singing, I think I'll go get a glass of water out of the fish tank.
That's the swamp.
Don't do that. I've been overfeeding them, and it's mucky now.
We need to let Dwight Linda know if they're listening that we got the memo.
We got the memo. We're overfeeding the fish.
Yes, and that's kind of like.
That's not the reason. Although it could have been yesterday.
Okay, I got to tell the story from yesterday. Talking about people and what they believe anymore. We went to a concert.
We went to let's give them a shout out, the Downtown Chowdown in Sacramento.
Wow. So we're down there, and I don't even know the lady that's coming on. What was her name?
Sheila E.
Sheila E. So we went with Liz and Carl, and whoa. Okay. Anyways, so Liz is a Sheila E. kind of junkie.
Which I had no idea when I first told you about this. Said, hey, you want to come to this? I had no idea.
So,
you've got quite a fascination.
Young. You're a little young. Well, I mean Sheila E. and
Well,
Brits.
I know who Sheila E. is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The rest of it I didn't know, but I know Sheila E.
Anyways, real quick.
I'm lost.
I'm lost.
Okay, well, so it's general admission seating. And Liz
we're commoners.
And Liz wants to get up to the fence right next to the stage. So we're great. We'll get a spot. So Carl and I went down to get the girls another drink, and we're coming back.
We're such lushes.
And we pull up. Alkies. You know, we pull up behind them, and I got my hand on Tammy's shoulder. And this lady comes up and she goes, "You're right in my way. I've been here since 11 o'clock this morning, and you're standing in front of me. See that seat back there?" And I'm like, where? And so it was like probably 20 feet away, and I was standing right in her way, and she was bent about it. And I said, okay.
Did you ask her if you could get on her shoulders?
No. So then she comes up. Wait, it gets better.
You could have. I've seen her.
So then it gets better, because then she comes back up again and she goes, "Look, you're going to need to stand to her left, and then I can see. You don't want my boyfriend to come up here." And I'm like, okay, now you've got my interest.
Wow.
So now I'm standing shoulder to shoulder with Carl, because that's who I am.
Just how big a boy was your boyfriend?
That's my first question. Well, how big is he? Let me see. Because I think Jason could take him.
So anyway,
turns out he was pretty big, but that's okay.
He was a big boy, but he didn't want any of that. So, but it was just interesting to me about entitlement at a general admission seating place.
Who sits down at a concert?
That's the thing.
Like he was going to be the only person in her way 30 minutes from now when she starts performing.
Well, and that was what was awesome, because then at that point there was a whole ton of people kind of behind me, so I'm like, whatever. But it was just interesting to me. Well, I've been sitting here since 11, and now you can't stand in front of me up here 20 feet away. How dare you?
I think that's more than common these days, isn't it?
Yeah. And I'm just like
entitled. So I sat in church this morning and
I didn't sit in front of anybody, did you?
No. Well, yeah, the people behind me. How about that? Okay.
Tom, you're nothing but an irritant.
But the guy in front of me, I couldn't see the preacher, and I didn't want to look at his bald head. So you know what I did? I leaned to the left.
Imagine that.
And when I got a little tired of there, I leaned back to the right. Yeah.
Well, I do want to say something about Sheila E. I have had an attitude.
Sheila Easton?
No,
No.
that's
Oh, okay.
Sheena Easton.
Oh, well.
My
Okay. Shows you
baby
what I
takes
know.
the morning train. That's who you're thinking of. Okay, so back to Sheila E.
Tom and I
Okay.
quit listening to
Well,
rock and
I
roll
don't
at the
know
same
who
time.
she is.
I was profoundly disappointed, and I'm just going to have a come to Jesus moment right now, because it has continued to bother me and be an irritant. Okay. She played the national anthem. She's extremely talented, very good on the drums, guitar, very talented. I was so busy looking for a flag to look at while she was strumming away that I did not realize that she took a knee.
I didn't see it either. And we were
No
the closest
kidding.
ones up there, but I didn't see it.
And neither did Carl. So
She played the national anthem and took
I
a
saw
knee
it, and
at
I
the
was
same
I was
time?
ready to puke. I'm like, really?
Wow.
if I would have known that, I would have turned around and gotten behind Jason's lady that was behind him, or just walked out.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure they took a knee too.
Well, but it was very amazing, and I've been looking for YouTube because it'll be on YouTube eventually. I mean, I'm sure it will. But you'll be able to see it. But I couldn't believe they all missed it. And then we were out to dinner afterwards, and I'm like, "Did you see her take the knee? Did you see that?" I couldn't believe it. And they're like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like,
And here they are, wealthy beyond wildest dreams in America, right?
Yep.
And they're taking the knee.
Yep.
I missed it. I missed that.
So, can you tell me what song she might have played that I might know?
Oh, Sheila. Have you ever heard of a guy named Prince?
Yeah, I didn't really like his music, to tell you the truth.
Tom and I have a lot of the same music affinities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you can tell when they're looking
Prince
cross-eyed at me whether I'm doing a good job or a bad job in here.
Yeah.
She was the drummer for Prince.
Oh, okay.
And they had a relationship. But I learned yesterday that she has a relationship with her backup singer.
Who's a woman?
Who's a woman?
Relationship.
I learned a lot of shocking things yesterday. Education day.
But I do want to give a shout out to the Boiling Crab. If you guys ever get a chance to go there, that was fun. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Good restaurant?
Yeah. And they bring it out. It's the first time that I've had shrimp like Louisiana style, real Louisiana style. And they bring it out in a bag and you just dump it out on your table. They cover your whole table with the
plastic.
With a plastic. Well, that's
tablecloth.
It's meat wrap paper.
Yeah.
And they cover it, and you just dump it all out there on the table, and everybody just starts, taking some. And, well, everybody, this is your group.
Not everybody else in the restaurant.
Yeah.
But it's like a jambalaya. It's got corn. It's got sausage,
potatoes.
So was it crawdads or shrimp?
It was shrimp.
Oh.
Man, it was good. And we got the mild. And I tell you what, I can handle pretty spicy stuff. And we got the mild, and it had a little zip to it.
It is zip.
Very flavorful.
Just awesome.
I made the mistake of getting medium at a Vietnamese restaurant. Whoa, man.
Yeah.
I couldn't eat it.
Well,
one time I couldn't eat it. I said, hey, I can't eat this stuff.
After our last show, we're going to have to take a trip down there and do that on a Sunday afternoon and take a trip down there because it was a lot of fun, and it really is like a family style. You want to learn a lot about the people you're going out to dinner with? Try that one time.
Watch them eat with their hands.
Yes. Well, poor Tammy got so freaked out because she said that she had never seen a shrimp with its head attached. So it's the full shrimp, and Carl was just sucking them down.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, yeah, you got to like suck all the juice out of their head. And I'm like, what the heck? Oh my gosh.
It is tasty. So
You eat it like a watermelon. Just dive in.
Yeah, it was good, though. It was a lot of fun. It was a good place to go. And
we recommend that on the K Street
time.
Mall.
Yep.
Boiling Crab.
Yeah.
Just down from my building of the decade.
Which we also took a tour of yesterday, which is
Anyways.
very awesome.
What do we got left? We got 5 or 6 more minutes.
So,
Yes on 6.
yep. No on K.
Yes on 5.
Uh,
Yes on 5.
No on all those bond measures.
Well, 1 through 4, no.
You know,
5, 6, 7, yes.
I
maybe.
voted no on every bond measure that's come up for the last 40 years. And every one of them has passed. Not because of me. And most of them were for clean air and clean water. And in 40 years, if they haven't achieved clean air and clean water, they're never going to get clean air and clean water.
They're never going to get enough money talking about it.
Yeah.
How about that?
It's a trick.
I'm shocked.
Well, number 7, because people don't know, and I was told that it's been on the ballot before, but I also have not seen it, and that is the daylight savings.
Yes.
I don't know how most people feel about that, but let's just leave things the way they are.
See, me, I like to have more light in the afternoon.
Yes.
Okay, so I don't want to change it. I want to keep it even keel.
You
all
get
year
up in the
round.
dark anyway,
Yeah,
right?
Right.
we get up in the dark
But I like to have
anyway.
a little light when I get home sometimes.
So then you need to do yes on 7.
Yes.
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 Yep. Because I would like that, too. I would like to have some light whenever I get home.
Yeah. I don't mind going to work in the dark. I kind of like it. It's nice and calm in the morning. You feel like you can get more done. There's less distraction. It's not harsh.
Yeah.
I like dark. in
How's the
morning.
traffic
Terrible.
at
Easy.
that time of day?
That's why I get to work early. I don't have to get there at 7. I do because I like it. I like getting there. I actually get there about 6.
Either you get to Sacramento at 7 in the morning, or you get there at 9 in the morning. And you can go with traffic, or you can go without. Doesn't really matter. You're either going to get there at 7, or you're going to get there at 9. And if you leave here at 8:30, you get there at 9. If you leave here at 7:30, you get there at 9. If you leave here at 7, you get there at 9. So you're either going to get there at 7, or you're going to get there at 9.
Leave at 5 and get there at 6.
So if I'm busy, I get there at 7. If I'm not busy, I get there at 9.
It takes 35 minutes if you leave before. I'd say if you leave after 6:10, it'll take you 40 minutes or longer. The later you leave, the longer it takes. But if I leave like by 6:10, I'm there 35 minutes after I leave.
You leave at 6:45, you'll get there at 9. 9. Forget it.
That's just the way it is.
Yeah,
huh?
so
'Cause you're going to sit on that road.
Exactly. So either leave at 6 in the morning or leave at 8:30 in the morning.
Well, later in the week, we need to stay tuned for, Xavier Becerra has requested a peek at our Sutter County grand jury report.
Well,
And
that's all he wants to peek at. That's fine.
he wants to see it. And
Good for him.
Yeah, he
I'm
wants
glad
to
we
see
got
it.
his attention.
Yep. He wants to see it, and Jesse Santana, petitioned for it. So we should know something by the end of this week. So there's a lot of interesting things happening, and November 7th is going to be a very interesting day when we can see how many of these things all shook out.
It's going to be interesting to see if the people ever get to see their own grand jury report.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to be very interesting.
That we had to pay extra money for this time around.
A lot of extra.
Hey,
That
we're
we
getting
didn't get to see.
close. We're getting close. We're down to one show left.
Yes, we are. One show left in the books, and we've been on the air for 7 full months.
We'll still put out some
Sure
Facebook
flew
Lives.
right by, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. It's
But
been
I-
a lot of fun. But
I
I'm
want
ready.
my weekends back.
I'm ready for my Sundays back. I'm ready to start fishing. It's just that time of year. The Bassett bullards are turning on, so I'm ready to.
Calling your name.
Yeah, they are.
Jason.
And it seems like Saturdays I'm
Come
busy,
get
so I
me.
can't go Sunday because we're getting ready for the show, and then the show shows up, because we got to get here an hour early and everything else. So it'll be soon. I'm ready for it to be over, but it's been a lot of fun. I mean, it really has. I've had a really, really good time out here. Learned a lot because I think we've come a long way since our first show.
I think we've
Then I
made
forgot
some-
it all the weekend that I went to Reno.
Yes,
building relationships with decent people also.
Yeah. And it really is fun. I mean, it's been a lot of fun out here, and getting to do something for the candidates, getting them some commercials and getting them a little extra money. I mean, it's been a lot of fun.
And all those candidates that we've advocated for, we want you to do your job.
That's all we're asking.
Yeah.
That's it.
Do what you said you're going to do, and that's all
And
we're
follow
asking.
the Constitution.
Yep.
Yeah. And don't even think about trying to eat out more of our substance.
But it's been really awesome because it's been really awesome because it gave us a chance to sit down with all the candidates, and I honestly think having the radio show gave us a little bit more bite of when we talk to them, of giving us a little bit more clout than the average person on the street going to a forum. And it's been really interesting this time around to talk to them and get to know them and do everything. So it's been a lot of fun.
And we had some great interviews.
Yeah, exactly.
And
we get to ask the questions we want to answer.
Everybody knows.
Yes, they do.
Yes.
So.
And we really appreciate both our listeners.
The whole 2 of them.
That's funny.
That is funny.
All right, guys. Well, have a good week.
God bless
Yes.
everybody.
And we will see you soon.
All right. Good afternoon.
Bye. Well, let me find something here. This will work. Yeah,
3
that's good.
o'clock.
Okay. Well, here. There. We're gone.